Because there's someone watching this now.
Yeah.
Like, how the hell have you got this and another one? Like, what do you do? Now we're looking at the tourist attraction, which is a castle. Oh, he's getting a picture of himself. And then we're going to go and find Starbucks, get something to eat, and then we're going to fly back down. Sorted, we're experiencing Scottish coffee now. We're back in now, raining, that's why I didn't film outside, as you can see. So we're back, ready to go.
Zero, and the Golf Oscar Whiskey. Maintain flight level 60,
It's in the green.
and pass the score contact taxi.
60.
Roger, clear to London Gatwick, left turn out, direct gusty, November 560 to the Golf Oscar Whiskey, climb flight level 60, and copy with the Squawk PZ 75 Delta Victor.
That's correct, this is a Newcon H1001, and the slot at 1635, the list airborne 30.
Roger, 1001, copy the slot, thanks, CG 75 Delta Victor.
What do you do that enables you to have two aircraft?
Me?
Because there's someone watching this now.
Yeah.
Like, how the hell have you got this and another one? Like, what do you do?
Well, I mean, you know, ultimately I own I've owned an IT company for 16 years now. Started it when I was 23.
Similar time to when I did EKM, weren't it? It was similar time, yeah.
And my business is centric around hosting and data centres. We're an IT service provider, mainly to other service providers and other businesses, commercial businesses. And yeah, I've been doing it for 16 years, and you know, I've always wanted to learn how to fly, and I've been very fortunate that over the last sort of 5 years, you know, the business has accelerated and we're doing really well, and you know, it's enabled me to sort of get on with what I kind of dreamed to do, and that was to learn to fly, and you know, I've kind of pushed hard. So yeah, you know, I've always wanted to learn to fly since I was a child and never had the time, and you know, 2.5 years ago I decided to buy a plane, and by buying a plane would force me to fly. So I didn't have a pilot's license, I brought a plane, I thought, right, I now own this asset. It can't sit on the ground, I've got to use it, so I took myself to America and learned to fly in 6 weeks, and the kind of journey started there, and then I just kept pushing and pushing and pushing, and ultimately the dream was to own a jet of some description. Probably didn't expect it to happen so quickly.
So quick, yeah.
But it has.
I think people think, he's off flying his plane, or he's off on holiday, or he's da-da-da-da-da-da.
Yeah.
Not thinking about work, and it's like, it couldn't be further from the truth.
Yeah, totally. I mean, I never switch off from work.
I mean, you know, guarantee the minute we land, the first thing you're going to do is get your phone out and look at your emails.
Yeah.
Check if there's any emergencies or anything that's gone on, same as I am. And when you sat in the taxi, that's what you're going to be doing. It's just how it is, isn't it? It's just, you never shut off, do you?
No, and I think that's always the challenging thing. I mean, you know, I get frustrated that some people, you know, look at me and think this guy flies a jet, he's got nice cars, he lives in a nice house. You know, what's he done to deserve that? Or you know, there's some jealousy or envy. At the end of the day, what they don't see is the 13 years previous to having any of that, or the 12 years previous to that. You know, you're remortgaging your house, you're worrying about paying the salaries, life is consumed by work.
What would your secrets of success be, or your top tips, or something like you've learned, though, because you've been in business, what, 17 years?
16 years, yeah.
So what would be your top tips for anyone?
Top tips? I mean, I always think, you know, if I talk about our business and why we believe I'm successful, or the business has been successful, is that we talk a lot about culture.
Yeah.
So I mean, you know, the big thing for me is people, and ultimately it's a team effort, and a lot of the people that I kind of found along the way as the business was growing are still with the business, and a lot of them are kind of in the senior sort of management team and sort of exec team. So You know, I think the key is look after your people, find good people and invest in people. And you know, sometimes when it gets tough, it's hard. People will recruit people for the sake of recruiting people because they need people to do a job. But I think, you know, what people have to learn, or I've learned along the way, is sometimes having one person that's not adopting your culture, that's not the right person for the business, doesn't fit with the ethos of the business, can actually do more damage than actually not hiring the person because you're going through growth. So I think for me, investing in people and getting the right people is key, and trying to retain them at all costs if they're, you know, they are good people. And empowering people, you know, it's very easy as a CEO, I think, sometimes to, you know, I'm a bit of a control freak, I'm a bit OCD, I like things done in a certain way. So I think sometimes it's really difficult to do it, but you've got to empower people, and people have got to make mistakes, they will make mistakes, but that's the only way they're going to learn. And if you want your business to scale and be successful, for it to continue to scale, it needs to have a strong team of people. So you have to empower them people, I believe, to make those decisions. And look, you know, for me, it's been a really interesting journey, and I could sit and track loads of points in time where I would say, well, I wish I hadn't have done that, or, you know, I wish I'd have made a different decision, or we'd have gone in a different direction. But ultimately, most of the decisions that we've made at the time believing that they are the right decision. So I think sometimes not making a decision is more damaging than making a decision regardless if it's the wrong decision. So I think, you know, set a plan, really, you know, understand what your goals are, where you're trying to get to, and where possible try and stick to that plan, and don't get too distracted along the way, because it's easy to get distracted.
Yeah, so stick to your plan.
Stick to the plan. If you believe that, you know, whatever it is you're doing, whatever business you're in, that, you know, you manufacture widgets or whatever it is, and you want to be the best widget manufacturer that there is in that particular sector, then that's your goal. It's very easy, I think. We could have been easily distracted into doing other things. We talked earlier on about a competitor of ours. You know, I sit here now and go, did I make the right decision in not going and chasing some of the things that they've been successful at? And I suppose, you know, I look back now and think maybe, but then on the flip side, I worry that if you end up trying to be the master of all,
jack of all trades,
not master of none, you've got to focus. And I think, you know, just sticking to the plan, sticking to what your fundamental beliefs in what it is you're trying to do, and try not to deviate and get distracted too much along the way. Unless obviously there's market dynamics and, you know, there's legitimate reasons, you've got to continue to innovate. I mean, we always strive to innovate and be better at what we do and more efficient. But I think less is more.
Yeah. Well, we see that with some of our customers, like online shops in general, where some people try to be like the everything store, like the Amazon, where they sell everything, and it doesn't work. Cause their hope is that, well, something's going to work, but it doesn't. You've got to be niche and focus on that one thing that you love to do, and that thing that you're good at, and make it a niche business. You know what I mean? But yeah, you're right. You've got to be very specific.
We talk. It's difficult to have a unique idea these days.
Come
up with something original. But sometimes it's not about that, is it? It's actually about how can you do something that might already be successful in another area, but actually how do you do it better?
Yeah.
How do you do it faster? How do you do it?
Ideas are cheap, execution's hard.
Exactly.